The children of the atom are no strangers to the world of adaptation, especially not after approximately 10 films to the name, maybe more depending on the timeline you come from, a beloved 90s cartoon, the highly enjoyable X-Men Evolution, and finally the most recent and overlooked animated series adaptation, Wolverine and the X-Men. This 2008 cartoon chronicles the X-Men rebanding after the disappearances of Professor X and Jean Grey, now led by Wolverine himself, while they gradually discover the threat of a dystopian future, probably one in which the Dark Phoenix movie exists. Among the series' strongest offerings is its graceful balancing of ideas, despite naturally focusing mostly on Wolverine, which, by the way, I'm surprised no other X-Men adaptation seems to. Certain episodes are almost exclusively devoted to other mutants. Examples of positive character showcasing episodes include an endlessly skillful Nightcrawler, who, by the way, is easily one of my favourite blue, furry, German-accented teleporting mutants with a tail, leading a simple, playful, surprisingly gripping nautical adventure. Gambit, who is among my favourite Marvel characters in general, appears in a thrilling, contained, heist-inspired episode, the quality of which almost redeems the fact he's underused and presented as much more villainous than usual in this series. Rogue, who here seems to be given a new power of a see-through fringe, experiences a dilemma regarding the Brotherhood and the X-Men, making her something of a rogue operative. Several other characters are given occasional welcome focus, such as an angst-driven Cyclops and a more comical Forge, a character typically unnoticed. An admirably endless array of X-Men associated characters appear, from the obvious like Storm, Beast or Iceman, to the more obscure like Bishop, Polaris or Marrow. There are also certain then obscure characters who've since been popularised by films, like Domino seen in Deadpool 2 or X-23 seen in Logan. I am furious at the exclusion of Jazz though, whose power of being blue would have enhanced so many important plot points in the series. Jazz, the future is doomed, help us! Don't worry, my skin is blue, you're all saved! Due to the vastness of the cast, an ambitious storytelling approach, the universe feels brilliantly versatile and complete, introducing a sense of freedom to the structure while maintaining a sense of purpose. Even a basically irrelevant episode where Wolverine battles Bruce Banner aka the Hulk after being blackmailed into doing so by a manipulative Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D., is produced with enough excitement and care to remain enjoyable. Though if they wanted to make pointless episodes with technicoloured characters, they should have included Jazz. Thanks to the ongoing narratives that involve a group of future X-Men and Magneto's creation of Genosha, the mutant island, being expressed with more thoughtfulness and importance than usual, the science-fictional elements of the franchise are wholeheartedly embraced with clear concentration. The typical X-Men trait of prejudice-driven political subtext is also particularly prominent in certain episodes, and these important ongoing plotlines become harmoniously intertwined through some brilliantly rewarding dramatic moments. The show's art style involves slightly exaggerated body types and detailed facial expressions, vibrant colours, and this is typically pleasing, lending itself to distinctive costumes, even if it does lack the overall polish of the previous X-Men cartoon art styles. The music is serviceable, but does lack a distinct personality, never developing beyond generic, dramatic superhero fare. If they wanted more distinctive music, they should have included Jazz. No, not the genre, the blue X-Men character. His mediocre rapping skills would have been so beneficial. The fight sequences are fluid and kinetic, involving intuitive use of characters' powers and skills, and while the action is less impressive than another short-lived Marvel show, The Spectacular Spider-Man, which of course was famed for its action sequences, the fight choreography of Wolverine and the X-Men perfectly meets the requirements that the story presents. My initial main issue was the fact that the show's main storyline occasionally becomes lost in a sea of unrelated episodes, and while it remains a personal weak point, it is significantly less problematic than it originally seemed. Firstly, those episodes are nonetheless well written and well paced. And secondly, thanks to clever use of interconnectivity, some of these episodes proved less inconsequential than they initially appeared. Another slight issue, but one that never seriously caused my enjoyment to diminish, is that while there is a large cast, and while this does often result in impressive character work, including an interesting arc involving Scarlet Witch and broadly involving her two siblings, Polaris and Quicksilver, or Mary Kate and Ashley in the MCU interpretation of the character, as well as an interesting backstory involving Mystique, the fact remains that certain characters are underused. Jean Grey is reduced to a plot device for most of the series, and Storm's presence in the show is usually treated incidentally. Other characters are simplified or slightly, if unnecessarily, altered. For example, Magneto, who, like his movie counterpart, is the master of magnetism as well as being the master of Ian McKellen impressions, who here is said to be inspired by the Ultimate Marvel's Magneto personality, meaning he loses some of his sympathetic nature. Thanks to competent voice actors including the likes of Nolan North and Steve Blum, a vivid storyline, concentrated character growth, brilliantly judged escalation, vibrant action sequences, occasional humour, respectfully dark ideas and measured suspense, Wolverine and the X-Men is an incredibly successful animated series, though its actual commercial success is debatable. Like the aforementioned Marvel show The Spectacular Spider-Man, it was cancelled, and appears to have since been largely forgotten, though a comic series of the same name did adapt the premise. While this is obviously more actively suitable for X-Men fans, the uninitiated viewer is provided with enough frame of reference to understand and appreciate the events. This is highly recommended to fans of surprisingly complex superhero stories or animated series in general. Thanks for watching this video on Wolverine and the X-Men. Anyone with recommendations on animated superhero series they believe to be underrated is invited to leave those suggestions in a comment. And if I don't see you on the next video, you've probably been focusing your time on mastering the control of metal and Ian McKellen impressions. I know I have. Wolverine and the X-Men, he is fighting all of the bad guys again and again. No, it's missing something. Maybe an Ian McKellen impression. I am Magneto. No, never mind. Never mind.